Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show, the heart and soul of bluegrass music, brought to you straight from Western Kentucky. Join your hosts Tim Batts, a passionate promoter of bluegrass and live music, and Josh Williams, 3-time IBMA Guitar Player of the Year and a true bluegrass legend. They talk about the latest bluegrass news, interview your favorite artists, and tell lighthearted stories that celebrate the bluegrass tradition. Josh even gives bluegrass music tips in every episode. So grab your banjo, pick up your guitar, and let's have some fun together. This is the Hometown Bluegrass Show.
This is the Hometown Bluegrass Show.
Howdy, friends and neighbors.
Episode 64 to be exact. And we are trucking right along. And I am a passionate promoter of bluegrass music, especially after Friday night, after the passionate show we had at the Kentucky Opry. So,
and who was it that was there?
Authentic Unlimited.
Yes.
We had a Kentucky Opry Friday night, and it was a great show and a big crowd, and just did a fabulous job. Those guys are super fun, just entertainers, man. It was so good, so good. Crowd really loved it. And the thing that was so cool about it was there was a lot of people who really weren't bluegrass fans there. Like, I bet you half the crowd. When I said, "Is this your first time at the Kentucky Opry?" it was probably at least half the crowd.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
But a lot of those people weren't really bluegrass fans. They just came a lot because of Colton Baker, but being a local boy. But everybody coming up to me, man, I really didn't listen to bluegrass music. These guys are awesome, So I think we made some bluegrass fans out of it. So
good, man.
Hopefully so.
Well, and that's a very true statement. They are awesome. So
they are. That's for sure. They are awesome. So speaking of Colton, we want to pray for his family. He lost his grandmother to cancer the day after the show on Saturday, and so their families definitely needed prayers. And they're from here in my hometown, and so we'll be at the funeral on Wednesday. And not looking forward to that, but she was one of the most amazing ladies I've ever met. You just can't imagine how spirited and full of life and the most wonderful Christian woman there was. So Debbie Pryor is her name, and that's Colton's daddy's mom. And so anyway, but great show, and makes me a passionate promoter of bluegrass.
That's right.
So what was the bluegrass legend up to this past week?
I had the kids this weekend, and that's pretty much all we did. I mean, I had gotten them up here, and Friday, which Weldon and I came out and caught the tail end of the show. On Friday, and he wanted to say hi to the guys, and then on Saturday, what did we do? I can't hardly remember. Oh, we went to my brother's house. They just bought a new house. They live down in Union City. He and his, I assume she's his wife, I think.
It's your brother? You don't even know if he's married to her?
Well, he's kind of secretive about stuff.
Maybe his wife don't know who this lady is. Maybe.
No.
Union City, Tennessee, by the way, for those who might be listening from afar.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, he's down in Union City.
Yeah.
And anyway, he bought a little house, and they've got a pool and a hot tub, and he wanted us to come down there. So me and the kids played in the pool all day, and I'm all sunburnt. And
well, it
was fun though.
Yeah, that's a big reason you came off the road, was to do those kind of things right there. So, if you was out traveling, you couldn't do those fun things.
You are correct, sir.
But speaking of traveling, you played there at Union City with Rhonda not too long ago, Discovery Park of America, didn't you?
Well, I didn't play with Rhonda.
Oh, that's right. You played by yourself.
Yes.
Before that, a few months ago. That's right.
Yeah.
Josh Williams Band.
Yeah, it's been it was around Memorial Day weekend last year when we did that.
Gotcha.
And Rhonda and them were just there at I think that same weekend, but this year.
It's been a year since you played?
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Lord.
That's how fast time's flying, man.
I just thought it was like earlier this spring or something. Gee, Manetti.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy.
It's going too fast, man.
So you playing at the Grand Ole Opry anytime soon? Filling in or any dates?
I'll be ready when she calls. she or anybody else,
Well, that was kind of a rhetorical question, wasn't it? You got your banjo tuned up?
Yeah, no. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, man. So what's Southern Legacy up to? I saw some teaser about some exciting news coming out.
Yeah,
on Facebook,
apparently we're going to Ireland next year.
Oh, cool.
And I guess there's some kind of a tour involved with it where we can take, like, people basically pay to come with us, you know. I don't know.
A cruise, or is it just a...
No. It's a tour through Ireland, and we get to stay in castles, and there's like 9 days, I think, or 10 days or something like that long. And there's like 9 nights of music. So,
jeez Louise, ain't that swanky?
It's gonna be fun. From unfortunately, I don't know enough about it. We need to get Don on here to tell you, because it's kind of his deal. He knows exactly what it is. Yeah. But so if you want to go to Ireland with us with Southern Legacy, we'd love to have you.
There you go.
And there's only a limited number of tickets to do that. So yeah, kind of exciting.
Yeah, heck yeah. Speaking of Don, he's got some new music just came out, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did.
Does he?
Yeah. Do you even know what your bandmates are up to?
Not really. Not unless if I'm there.
Yeah, he just had a new album that just came out. It's called the Kentucky Troubadour.
Oh, yes,
the Rebel
I knew that.
Collection.
Yeah.
And some of the songs he had cut before, they remastered them and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But anyway, pretty neat.
Yeah, that's a older picture of him on the cover. He's looking very.
I saw
dapper.
that. I was like, "What in the world?"
Yeah,
but I love podcasts, and I'm sure all y'all listening do, because you're listening. But when I mow, I listen to lots of podcasts, and not ours, because that's kind of vain. But anyway, there's a new podcast I just found out about called Strings, and anyway, they had this guy is a Nashville DJ celebrity around that area, and anyway, he had John Cowan on, and it was so interesting to hear John's story and all that, and I really enjoyed that, about his old days with the Newgrass Revival and him and Sam Bush relationship, and Doobie Brothers and the whole deal. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's an interesting dude.
He got I was able to be on his solo album that he did when he turned 60. So that's been a long time ago now, too, unfortunately. I think he just turned 70 or 71 or something.
Yeah.
But I got to be on there, and it was produced by John McPhee, who is one of the Doobie Brothers, and one of my friends, and a great guy. You know, just it was weird when I first met him, because like I told Johnny C, I said, man, I'll take me around. I want to meet some of these guys, and he said, well, you definitely got to meet this guy, and he took me over to John McPhee, and he told him who I was, and he was like, you're Josh Williams, and I was like,
He'd heard of you.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Apparently, he was a huge fan of Rhonda's Raging Live album.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. I was awesome. Like, man, that is the coolest thing ever.
That is. That's very cool.
So I got to be on that record, and that was so much fun. So I'm on a couple of songs there. One of them I'm taking a solo along with Huey Lewis and J.D. Manis and John Jorgensen. I mean, it's crazy, all the people that are on it.
That is
it's
cool.
so awesome.
Yeah, that is really cool. Well, Good Woman's Love song, you know, he said that was probably the song he was most known for, he thought, because he asked him what song would you think you'll be most known for, and he's like, probably the old Bill Monroe Good Woman's Love song, you know.
Probably.
But I was amazed how many people recorded that song, you know, besides him. Of course, Tony Rice did a great version of it. Matter of fact, I hope John ain't listening, but I think I like Tony's version a little bit better than John's version. Even Jerry Reed recorded it, you know. A lot of people recorded that song, and Bill Monroe, of course, I guess Bill wrote it, I guess. He was the first one to record it, but anyway, great.
I didn't even know that
stuff, so, yep.
Very cool. Speaking of Bill Monroe, you looking to buy a place over in Rosine?
I was thinking about some kind of old log cabin or something.
Well, I'll tell you what, I believe if this is true, Uncle Pen's cabin is for sale. So,
hey, well, they asking for it, did I say?
No, it doesn't say in here.
Well,
but that's probably, you know, inflation. You know, like everything else is probably way up.
It's gone up.
Yep.
Probably cost $400 to build it, and now they're asking $800 for it or something.
Yeah. I'm sure it's probably $250,000.
Yeah, probably. Sentimental value.
Well, that's funny.
Well, we got a great show lined up for you. Speaking of Southern Legacy and all that's going on with them, we've got the great fiddle machine that plays with Southern Legacy, Mr. Steve Thomas.
Yes.
And super excited to talk to Steve, see what he's up to. Here's some Steve Thomas stories. So
yeah, he's done everything.
He has, man. What a bio.
Yeah.
So excited to talk to him in a few, but first we're going to get Josh to play us something on the guitar. We've had a few requests come in, and so if you got a song you want to hear or anything like that, just look us up on Facebook, the Hometown Bluegrass Show, and drop us a DM on there. And we do read all those and respond to all of them. And so we've had some requests come in, and Josh is thumbing through those now and going to see exactly what he's going to do. So, yep, he's going hard at it. Let's see. Whole catalog's turning.
Yeah.
Yep. But,
can you hear it?
Yep. So he brought his old Martin box with him tonight. Yeah. So we'll get that tuned up, and we'll have Josh play a song here directly. So don't go no way.
Custom Automotive in Calvert City, Kentucky has been a family-operated business for over 50 years. When you call Custom Automotive, you'll talk to an experienced tire and wheel expert. They install wheels and tires on thousands of vehicles every year in addition to their online sales. Stop by and thank them for supporting bluegrass music. Custom Automotive, Highway 62, Calvert City, Kentucky, 270-395-7611. Or visit them online at customautoonline.com.
Looking for expert insurance advice from a team that truly knows Western Kentucky? At Paducah Insurance Agency, we're more than just policies. We're your neighbors, helping you protect what matters most. With locations in Paducah and Benton, Kentucky, we offer home, auto, business, and life insurance with top carriers like Erie Insurance, all at competitive rates. Locally owned and committed to your peace of mind, Jared Morgan and his team are here to help. Call Paducah Insurance Agency today at 855-853-4763 or visit paducahinsurance.com. Paducah Insurance, coverage you can count on from people you trust.
Howdy, friends. I'm Banjo Ben Clark, and you're listening to my good buddies Tim Batts and Josh Williams on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. You've tuned in because you like valuable conversation about the world's best music. And if you want more good stuff like that, come on over to my website, banjobenclark.com, where you can learn how to play and purchase anything you might need when it comes to bluegrass-related instruments and accessories. My Gold Pick members over there can access hundreds of lessons for banjo, guitar, and mandolin with all kinds of resources to help you move on down the road with your picking skills. And if you're looking to purchase something, the deals can't be beat at Banjo Ben's General Store. All there on the same website, banjobenclark.com. Now back to the show.
And let us say a happy birthday to Banjo Ben Clark. Today is his birthday.
Is it really?
It sure is.
Well, happy birthday, Ben.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I sent him a message this morning, told him happy birthday, buddy, and thank you for all you do.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. You can also pick up your McEwen guitar picks now at banjobenclark.com. So Josh has got his playing right now. So
yep.
So what you going to do for us, man?
Well, I think I'll do there's a number of songs that people have asked for, but I think I'll just go ahead and do Another Town. Somebody had asked for this Tom T. Hall song, and I got to record this on my what's the name of the album?
Modern Day Man.
Thank you. My Modern Day Man album. And which is pretty special because, I got to do the record with my old friend and hero, J.D. Crowe, who was a producer on their album. Mm-hmm. So this one and Girl from the Canyon were both like, I was weird about kind of doing them, like it's either one or the other. And he's like, no, we're going to do both of them.
Crow was?
Yeah. I was like, okay. But, so this was one of them, and he brought in his old 75, and Jason McKendry, is playing on that track, but he's playing Crow's old banjo. So,
oh yeah, I remember that.
Pretty cool. You might want to turn this little mic up a little bit here. There you go. loving you was just a storybook affair. I decided there ain't no real life anywhere. Soon I'll be faded, picture in the book of your mind. Another town is somewhere down the line. Another town, another grocery store, another town, another set of swinging doors. Somehow I'm a little bit suspicious in my mind. It's another town that don't need my kind. Tell your mama she was sure a dandy cook. And tell your papa that I understood his looks. If I put it all together, you're a piece that wouldn't fit. Another town's a-coming up, I guess. Another town, another grocery store, another town, another set of swinging doors. Somehow I'm a little bit suspicious in my mind. It's another town that don't need my kind. As I leave you, let me leave you with this thought. Time is candy, and we ate all that we bought. Those little tears you're crying, they're just wrappers on the ground that a new wind blows into another town. Another town, another grocery store, another town, another set of swinging doors. Somehow I'm a little bit suspicious in my mind. It's another town that don't need my kind. It's another town that don't need my kind.
Oh man, Tom T's a masterful songwriter.
Man, wasn't he? And a great guy. You know, he was a great friend and did a lot for me in my career. I appreciate him very much.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Him and Miss Dixie definitely left their mark on bluegrass music for sure. So great stuff. Well, I'm going to say this. I've said it before, but not just because you're sitting here. But if you've never bought or streamed or whatever the Modern Day Man album, you really must do that because it's definitely one of my favorite albums and definitely one of many people's. So just got a great touch to it. About time you need to make some more.
I know. I have one that I really want to. If we can get done with this Southern Legacy album, I got one that I've been wanting to cut for a while. So
yeah, well, good deal.
Hopefully we'll get that rolling and be able to knock it out fairly quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sounds good. Well, so excited to talk to Steve. Speaking of Southern Legacy, you got the fiddle player for Southern Legacy, Steve Thomas. And Josh's dear friend and bandmate. We're going to talk to him here in a minute and find out what he's been up to. So stick around. We'll be right back to get some Steve Thomas stories.
The Lake House Inn at Sled Creek has undergone complete renovation in 2023. Our outdoor space is unlike any other at Kentucky Lake. With 2 in-ground pools, 18 rooms, and 4 cabins, we're just a stone's throw away from Kentucky Dam. If you're looking to make memories with your family, this nostalgic inn is for you. Welcome to your lake house, where modern meets rustic and becomes home. Reserve online at lakehouseinn.com.
For over 50 years, Puckett's Jewelry in Benton, Kentucky has been a trusted choice for fine jewelry that will last a lifetime and help you celebrate life's most precious moments. The new owners, Bart and Hannah Lewis, are excited to continue the Puckett's Jewelry legacy in Marshall County and are proud to support bluegrass music. Puckett's Jewelry on the Square in Benton, Kentucky. Visit them online at puckettsjewelry.com.
Hey, this is Josh Williams for Page Capos. The Page Capo is lightweight, durable, and quickly attaches and allows you to change frets with ease. With controlled tension capabilities, Page Capo always stays in tune. But don't just take my word for it. Page Capos is also used by folks like Vince Gill, Ron Block, Tim O'Brien, Cody Kilby, Tommy Emmanuel, and James Taylor. So don't trust just any capo. Use what the pros use. Listen to the Hometown Bluegrass Show podcast for your chance to win a Page Capo on every episode. Do what I do and trust Page Capos. Order online at pagecapo.com.
Welcome back to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. I am your hostess with the mostest, Tim Batts, a passionate bluegrass promoter.
You're going to go with that again.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that again. Along with bluegrass legend. Is that what she calls you?
That's what she calls me.
Josh Williams.
So
anyway, but we do appreciate Page Capo for being a great sponsor, along with McEwen Guitar Picks, Banjo Ben Clark, and all our other great sponsors. And Josh just played a fabulous Tom T. Hall song using his Page Capo and his McEwen Guitar Pick.
Absolutely.
And even wearing his Page Capo hat.
Absolutely.
So, listen, in this episode, you get your chance to win a free Page Capo. We'll give away one in every podcast. And so,
what about the McEwen picks? Are we giving those away as well?
Yes, the McEwen pick as well. So, to win, all you got to do is go to our Facebook page on Friday when this comes out, and we'll ask you a special question that you can only hear on this episode, and you could win. Last week's winner was Adeline Ramey from Paintsville, Kentucky. So you got on to me for not knowing who won or announcing who won. So
well, I just think maybe we should make a deal about that. That's
I
all.
Agree. And Joseph Wellborn won.
I know Joseph
won the pick. So
all right.
Yeah, sure did. And last week was Nick Carr won the capo.
I know that name too.
So these are all pickers, man. It's amazing how many people we've met doing this. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
But speaking of amazing, we happen to have somebody pretty cool on the phone.
Absolutely, dude.
Why don't you introduce your fellow bandmate?
I tell you what, I've
compadre.
known this guy for a long time, and I have so much respect for him. First off, he's one of the greatest musicians on the planet. He can play any instrument. He has played with everybody there is to play with, just about. And I'm honored to get the chance to be in a band with him now. And
you realize he's on the phone, so you don't have to talk that nice to him.
Yeah, no. This is all from my heart. This is all truth, man.
Okay.
This is all absolute truth. No BS at all. And
right.
So he comes from the state of Virginia, but makes his home in Nashville, Tennessee now. And honored to have my friend Steve Thomas with us here on the Hometown Bluegrass Show podcast.
Good to be with you, brother.
Man, sound like he's introduced you from stage before.
once or twice.
That was definitely a stage introduction. So, but yeah, I'm super excited, man. What you been doing today? What's Nashville been up to today? Hot?
Oh, I didn't do much. I ran up to Kentucky and visited with Ben Probus. He brokers instruments, and he's selling a Arthur Connor fiddle for me and a guitar made by Olin Gardner. And so I did that, and then I came home and I cut a couple of guitar tracks on a project I'm producing, and I held the couch down the rest of the day.
Well, you're just 2 hours from us. You should have just drove on over here to Western Kentucky, and we could ate supper with us and just done this in person.
Had he had a little heads up, he probably could have.
Well, yeah, probably since Josh texted you 2 hours ago. Can you do this?
That's about right.
Yeah, we try to schedule these out weeks in advance, but sometimes we get busy with life and it gets behind, and so then Josh is going through his phone. We almost did a prank call episode last week, but we didn't have anybody lined up.
That's still in the air. That still could happen.
Yeah, Josh was flipping through his phone. We could prank call this person and this person. So,
well, Josh knows that I'm good on short notice.
That's right.
Well, it wasn't that you're a last resort.
My business card.
He's a consummate professional.
Oh man, well, you are a professional. Good Lord, man, you've been in the music business a long time, hadn't you, buddy?
I have. I started in 82 with, I was 19 years old. I went to work with Del McCurry and the Dixie Pals.
Wow. That's cool. How long did you stay with Del?
Just a year.
Yeah.
Back in those days, I gave everybody about a year, maybe two. I was moving through it.
Yeah.
Was he carrying two fiddlers at that time, or was it just you?
Just me. I followed Sonny. Sonny. Oh man, can't remember Sonny's last name. I feel terrible, but he had a great band with Herschel Sizemore and Dick Smith, and Sonny.
Oh yeah,
his name is just escaping me right now, but that was a Rebel record he did, and Sonny was died in a car crash, and then for a couple of months, I'll tell a little story here.
Sonny Miller.
I went up. Sonny Miller, that's right, Sonny Miller. Thank you so much for that. He's deserving to be remembered. He was a great fiddler. It was a great band that Dell had. And so I went up to audition. David Parmley introduced me to Dell, and I went up to play for him. And he hired somebody else that stayed just a month or two, J.B. Prince, who was a very famous fiddler from North Carolina. And famous for not staying, but he played with the Bluegrass Cardinals, and so he left. And Dell called me and said, "If you still want to come to work, come on." And I played with him that year, '82, which was a lot of fun, and started a relationship that's lasted the whole time with him and the family. And I played with him a lot over the years.
Matter of
I'm
fact,
on the bench.
I have a Bluegrass Unlimited somewhere where you're on the cover with Dell. And I'm trying to think of when that was. It might have been, it was early on. It was before Jason, obviously, had joined the band. So.
Yeah. And I remember we came through Nashville, headed to Glen Rose, Pennsylvania, Glen Rose, Texas.
Yes.
For a festival down there. And we stopped and played the Station Inn, and Bobby Osborne came out and sang with us, and they took a picture with me in between Dell and Bobby Osborne and put it in Bluegrass Unlimited. And buddy, I wouldn't talk to nobody. I'm telling you. I just felt like I've made it.
That's awesome.
Such a big thing.
Did you ride on the 4104 or whatever that had the wood stove in it?
I sure did. We'd go up and play on the East Coast, and he'd build a little fire. We'd sleep in the bus and camp out.
That's so funny.
It is so funny. One time we played a show with the Seldom Scene and up in New York, and we were just a few miles from Bob Mabian. He's a famous promoter and banjo picker up there, and from his house, and he had an after party. And we tried to keep the fire going and drive, and that was a disaster. It backed smoke all up in the bus. We were all hacking with the windows open and smoke flying out the window going down the road.
Like a Cheech and Chong's movie.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. So
I stayed with Dell that year, and then moved to Nashville and played with Jim and Jesse and the Virginia Boys in '83.
Wow. That's cool. So before, you said you joined Dell when you were 19. So did you grow up in a musical family, or were you playing as a young kid, or?
Yeah, my dad played. He played music, and when I was a little boy, he was a victim of cancer, and he was, when he was diagnosed with cancer, I was about 7 years old, something like that. And he went out and bought a mandolin and a fiddle and a guitar, and out of the 5 kids, I was the one that picked it up. So I hung with him pretty close, and he taught me to play those instruments. And then when he passed on when I was 12, and I hooked up with first a little gospel band in my church. And then when I was 15, I started playing with local bands around Roanoke, Virginia, and playing contests and that type of thing.
Well, that's cool. Yes. It's always amazing to me how parents are so instrumental in getting kids into music, and that's just such an interesting thing to me, as I've always found it mesmerizing.
Well, Pop Stoneman was the one that figured it out, how to do that. He really did. He bought all those instruments, and when he would leave the house, he'd look at all of the kids and say, "Don't touch them."
Yeah.
And before too long, they all knew how to play them.
Yeah, my dad did the same thing. He had gotten a Yamaha guitar, and he'd given me a guitar that was more like a dobro. I mean, you couldn't hardly fret it. And but he had his in the closet, and as soon as I saw the dust settle from him leaving down the dirt road we lived on, I'd get in there and get that Yamaha out and play it till he came back.
So what year did you move to Nashville? Is that when you got to playing with all the country groups and things, or?
Well, I moved to Nashville and was married to my wife Janet in 80. We got married in 83, and I was playing with Jim and Jesse, and we moved down. And one of the first things we did, of course, was get on the bus and leave for a month and go to the West Coast, and left her alone. And when we got home, she was like, "Oh no," it was pretty solitary for her. So we ended up, I left Jim and Jesse and moved back to Virginia and played for 18 months with the Lost and Found and cut an album with them. And that was a really fun musical experience. They had just a great band. And then the Whites offered me a job, and about the same time I was offered a job and played some dates with Josh's boss, Tony Rice. And but the White, it was just a good time. There wasn't a ton of fiddlers like there are today at that time, and I had gotten on to playing some of the stuff that was popular at the time with Bobby Hicks, and playing some double stops and this and that. And a lot of guys weren't doing that yet like they are now. And so it left a lot of doors for me. There was so much good music and not a bunch of good fiddlers to fill those spots. Yeah. So I had some real opportunities with that. And that's why it made it so hard to stay anywhere, because lots of people were offering me jobs, and so I moved down and played with the Whites for about 5 years, and that was with or 4.5 years with I started with when Jerry Douglas was in the band, and he left, and they took a little bit more of a traditional country route and hired Tommy White to play steel, and which was still just amazing, and loved playing with them so much. And over the years did lots of tours and lots of dates with them. I mean, even some of the last touring that they did with Buck White, I was there and really enjoyed them people and my relationship with them. And of course, getting to play, that's what Tony said. "Oh, you're going to get to play with Flux." He thought that was cool too, and
yep.
So those were great opportunities for a young guy. And I just you know how it is when you look back, you think, man, maybe I should have done this or stayed with that one, but it was all great. It was good. It was way more than I deserved.
Man. And you got to hang with Skaggs a little bit too because of that, right? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, Ricky loaned me instruments, and we chummed around a little bit. One experience, I mean, this was just, for all of us guys from that era, Boone Creek was like the Beatles, and Tony Rice and the Manzanita Band, all that was just, we were eat up with that. So getting to meet him and be around him was surreal. And we were at one time at a fair date that he came with Sharon, and he had to return a rental car and took off down the road. And Ricky was, I'm telling on him here a little bit, man, he was skinning them wheels and spinning out. And I thought, this is so cool, and it was, nobody influenced me like those guys did. All of us, I guess, even to today, they.
Oh, absolutely.
They're just monsters,
There was always something really special about Tony and Ricky's voices together.
Man, it's Reese's peanut butter. It's the two flavors that go perfect together.
Yeah.
They were just amazing. That rich baritone of Tony's and that beautiful 12-year-old boy voice of Ricky had.
Man, nobody could touch him back in those days. He was the best, and I don't know that anybody's come up to that level since.
Nobody's moved me like that.
Yeah.
Ricky's vocal. I just played it for Ben Probus today when we were up there. We were talking about Arthur Connor's fiddles, and Ricky played an Arthur Connor fiddle on all of the Emmylou Harris records. And one of my favorite cuts was The Darkest Hours Just Before Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
If you're familiar with that, Ricky just comes in there, oh, like a ship.
Yeah.
On the mountain.
Yeah. Dramatic key change.
Good.
I was like, wait a minute, what's happening?
Yeah, and he stole the show. I mean, I love Emmylou, but Ricky just stole the show. He just owned that space and just played such beautiful fiddle, just so beautiful. Still today, just, I don't know anything that is, nothing usurps it. It's just so good. And
yeah. His fiddle playing really was unbelievable.
It's some of it could be, they say when you're in high school, whatever you love will always stay with you. And so that was for me. It's, I might be a little romantic about the whole thing. It's hard for anybody to knock that stuff off the throne for me, that those years of recording from probably Boone Creek, I'd say 78 to Ricky's first couple of albums in 83, 84, all the way, that whole 5-year period of music, it just stands out for me.
Yeah.
All those Tony records, all that. It was just so good.
Well, after you played with the Whites, then what happened? Where did you go from there?
Well, along the way, around 85, Blaine Sprouse was with the Osborne Brothers, and I think was their premier band in my eyes. I'm not saying their premier songs or even vocal trio. Some of the stuff they did early on was just fantastic, but that band with Paul Brewster and Jimmy Brock on bass and Blaine Sprouse on violin. Blaine was the best for ballads. He knew that Tommy Jackson style so good, and just really showed out on those ballads with them. And so Blaine took off in 85 to do a tour with Jerry Douglas and a bunch of those guys, Glenn Worf, I forget who all, I think maybe Russ Barenberg, but they did a month in Africa, and you just didn't in those days just take off. The Osborne Brothers or Bill Monroe, those guys didn't say, well, I'm taking a leave of absence. So Sonny, they hired me, and I came down. I was playing with the Lost and Found. I came down and played the Opry and did, I don't know, that month with them, filling in. And Sonny tried to hire me, but I'm going to tell on him a little bit. He kind of put it on me. In other words, you can have this job if you want it, but he wasn't going to fire Blaine unless he had me secured, and I didn't want to be responsible for pushing a fellow fiddler out into the cold. So I said, I think I'll just kind of hang where I'm at, But the whole time I was with the Whites, Sonny would come around, man, are you ready to make a change? And so after 4 or 5 years, and they were getting ready to make a record, and I thought this would be good for me to do. And so I went over to the Osborne Brothers and played 2 years with them, and made the Hillbilly Fever record, which we cut Orange Blossom Special on that record, and it was nominated for a Grammy, country instrumental. I don't even think they have that category anymore. And probably the reason why is they were probably scraping to find 5 instrumentals,
Yeah.
3 records, to be honest about it. I think it was kind of like, oh, here's a band. Okay, you're nominated. Yeah, but anyway, was very honored to do that with them. And I think that record still holds up. It was Terry Eldridge at that time on guitar and Terry Smith on bass, and we brought Tommy White in to play dobro on that record, and it was a really good record. And so I did that for 2 years, and then I began my country career.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Which I thought, I remember Mike Compton and myself went down one night to the American Music Workshop. We're hanging out, and I remember telling him, I think I'm going to do this for a couple of years. I felt like I needed to. I had a young family, a couple of kids, and felt like I could use the pay increase, and they did pay me a little more to go play these country gigs. And I went to work with Aaron Tippin. I thought, I'll do it for a couple of years. I ended up doing it for, I don't know, seemed like about 20 years, I think, altogether, that I was playing in country bands after that. But I went to work with Aaron Tippin, and he took me in the studio with him, and I played on his first #1 record. Ain't nothing wrong with the radio. That was a kick. It was a lot of fun.
Probably played that song a few hundred times over the years, hadn't you?
And then I really took a dive. I mean, I hate to pick on her. I love her to death. But the money was so good, and at the time she was just huge. And Barbara Mandrell offered me a job, and so off I went to be a do-right, and I stayed there for 5 or 6 years. And that kind of really took me out of bluegrass all the way. I was all Nash Vegas at that point, dancing and all kind of stuff.
You had that Nashville flash.
Yeah, they make fun of me on stage when I do a little dance. I worked with Barbara Mandrell, but and she was a lovely lady, but it was much more of a show band, and it took me really.
You guys had a performance on the Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've seen it.
Oh no!
On YouTube?
They do they have this choreography basically where they're all gathering around her and all
band?
this. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, dancing and up in the
Oh my goodness! I hope that's on YouTube.
Yeah, I was quite a performer.
It is.
That's great.
But that's all part of my schooling and part of my trip. I'm proud to have done it. At
Absolutely.
The time, it was one of those things where, all the guys that I had played with, I started there, and when I was playing with Dell, Tim Austin and I started the Lonesome River Band, and I was watching them at the same time have all this success, and I was just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this. But that's, you like to say, no do-overs, and she taught me a lot about show business and stage presence, and she was it was a great experience, for me and my family.
Now, Tim, did you catch that, what he said, how he and Tim Austin started the Lonesome River Band? Because I know you're a big LRB fan. So.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, sure enough. In fact, you named it, didn't you?
I did. I came up with that name. Yeah, I can even tell you where the thought came from, because I loved the Little River Band. That's where the original LRB. I loved them guys, and at the time that we were doing it, Doyle had his, I think, third album had Jimmy Haley singing "I Sing to the River at Midnight." What is that? And I said, "There's our title. There's our band name right there." That's how we came up with it.
Lonesome River. Yeah.
And,
that's so cool.
Yeah. So that's where the name came from. And I made 2 records with the Lonesome River Band, not as a member, but as a guest. I came in and played on, at the time it was called Saturday Night and Sunday Morning with Adam Steffy and Brian, what was Brian's? Fessler.
Yep.
On banjo, and Jerry McMillan's still singing and playing bass. And man, there's a guy that don't get enough credit. I think Jerry McMillan had a beautiful voice.
He was so good. Yeah.
Really so good. And, but that was a lot of fun. And then I came out of retirement a few years later, playing when I was with the Osborne Brothers, Tim had me come up and play on the Carrying the Tradition album. And I think I am on 2 cuts on there, but I cut about 6. But Tim said, "Don't feel bad." He said, we had this opportunity to get this little girl fiddler player, Allison Krause. And so she kicked me and Bobby Hicks. And I think Ricky Simpkins was on several cuts, but he had a bunch of fiddlers. But when she came, there went your star power right there. I didn't have none, and she did. But she plays. She's an amazing fiddler, so I'm not discounting that at the least. is just amazing fiddler.
Yeah, she really is.
And another insider, a little thing, since we're telling inside stuff, Tim told me, he said, I knew I was getting my best record ever, and I knew I was losing my tenor singer.
Yeah.
He was up there really scouting out, Dan.
Yep. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, he said it was a wonderful, terrible time.
That's so cool. Yeah, one of these videos I found on YouTube is I found it, Barbara Mandrell on Arsenio, and the guy who posted it is his title is Leggy Ladies on VHS.
Oh, fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We probably know him.
Probably, yeah. He's probably the
Well,
best.
I'll tell you, from playing, just from playing festivals and all the things that I've done, which I'd loved it all, and working the Opry in different venues, and then getting to play with her at the time, at least for a short time, it was really amazing. I mean, we flew a lot of dates, first class. She took us to Hawaii. We played, we ate dinner with a president, George Sr., and got to do some things that hillbillies just don't generally get to do. So, I really did enjoy that. That aspect of it,
Yeah.
And the band, I wouldn't discount that band. I mean, if y'all know anything about her, they were all college guys and just amazing. And I did a session last week with Chris Walters. He was her band leader, and he wrote orchestra charts, and he'd come up with some violin thing for me to play, and I'd take all the credit for it. And, oh yes, so I thought of that. But there's brilliant musicians in her band,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you probably hadn't played with a saxophone player since them days, have you?
No, maybe a little bit in the studio, but not. I don't know. I think you're right. I don't know that I've played with another band that had horn players.
Maybe you can get Don Rigsby to start playing the sax. I wonder how that would work.
Yeah, absolutely. Big sexy on the sax.
Big sexy on the sax.
Yeah.
I mean, that just has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? That's great. Well, speaking of
those saxophone players, when they I remember the boy that played in that band, Dino, he used to work downtown quite a bit, and he would play piano and saxophone. And anytime a pretty girl walked in, he'd go, "Hey, boys, let's do something with the saxophone."
It was probably leggy ladies on VHS, guys.
Yeah,
Might have been.
Might have been, yeah.
Oh, man.
So anyway, so you also did some time with Brooks and Dunn, correct?
Yeah, so I'll just do them in order, I left Barbara and went with, while I was with Barbara. So Barbara was working at the time, like 4 to 5 months a year.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we were free to do whatever we wanted. And so I was working with Kenny Chesney at the same time. And I actually left Barbara for a short period of time and was his band leader. And he wasn't really that big yet. I mean, he had just kind of got going, had a few singles and a few hits. But the money was so good with Barbara that I think I was gone for about 3 weeks. And I went, I think Barbara wants me back. And she did. She called me. She tried some people out, and she said, if you want to come back, you just call Chris and tell him, and we'll just act like you never left. So I was gone about 3 weeks or a month, and came back and went right back to work and stayed for another couple of years. But I worked with Kenny for 2 seasons when I could. And then, like I said, a little bit as his band leader. And another one of those things, I can't stay until someone's successful. He's going to make money. I better get out of here. And so, it's like, who knew? Just a couple of years later, all those guys were making way over $100,000 a year, and he was the biggest thing, since cream cheese. But we did not make that kind of money. But it still was, again, a wonderful time. I met a bunch of great songwriters that I still am friends with, and it's all been amazing. I just can't even believe it when I say it sometimes, working with these people. But I worked with Barbara then, Brooks and Dunn, called, I think, in Jimmy Mattingly was with them for 4 or 5 years. And then he got the real gig, with Garth Brooks.
G-Man.
G Money.
Yeah, with the G-Man, never be heard from again. He will be there from now on.
Yeah, I think the only way you lose that job is if you pass away. I think you die.
Yeah.
Those guys stay till they die, pretty much.
Yeah, and he salaries them yet. They're even when they're not touring. So
yeah,
that's a great lifetime gig. And then I went to work with Brooks and Dunn and just worked that season with them. I think that was 96, something like that, around 96.
And Tim, let me tell you, he had a wicked mullet back then too.
Oh yeah,
yes, it was beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Did he have a mustache like Kix? Or?
No, I
had a beard.
Yeah, he had the
full
whole
beard.
Wow,
the whole thing. The hair, the beard, and I think I got a call from Billy Ray Cyrus to give me my hair back.
Yeah, I'm seeing a pretty nice mullet on this Barbara Mandrell video here too. So.
Yeah, I didn't have it quite down in the back at that point.
Yeah, the waterfall was a little short back then, but
yeah, I let it grow out in the back with Brooks and Dunn, and then let's see who was next. I think it was a new startup that was amazing, and everyone said you got to do this. And she called me at my house. This was the wildest call, but Leanne Womack called my house. She got my number, I think, from Kevin Grant, who's a session player in Nashville, bass player that I work with a lot. And he said, this is the guy you needed. She said, I know him. And come to find out, when I was with the Lost and Found, she was in down around South Plains College and around Lubbock, Texas. And I had done a show and a workshop down there, and she knew me from that. And but when she called, I'll never forget, in the background was the Skaggs and Rice album playing. And that just blew my mind. And so she offered me a job, and everybody said, man, you need to do this. And so I did. And it was a little bit, any new artist, they're just not able to pay that, what Barbara was able to play or Brooks and Dunn. But I just wanted to be in her band. She was so great, and she had just amazing musicians in her band. And so I did that for a year, and then I went to work with John Michael Montgomery again. Just trying to make decisions on the paycheck, and I stayed with him about 5 years, and that was a fun thing as well. And that was a fun record, and we made that in my studio, and we had that little hot mandolin player, Jesse Cobb, Andy Hall, Wyatt Rice. It was a great record. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I worked with him about 2 years I was, doing some session work and producing a few records. That's kind of what I do, just freelance, and it went pretty good. I also played with a little band there from up around Lexington with Dale Pyatt. Anybody remember Dale Pyatt?
Oh, I love Dale.
Yeah, we had a little band called Chicken Grease, which was kind of acoustic Jimmy Buffett music. Just kind of hippie music. You can get on the YouTube and look up Chicken Grease, Lazy Bones, and we have a cool video on there with our kids played in the band. His son played drums. My son played guitar, and Nathan and my youngest played bass.
Mm-hmm.
And that I was all, how it is, just part-time stuff, but it all adds up. And that was a great relationship. Dale ended up being one of my closest friends. And,
he was a good man.
He was a funny guy, man. I'll tell you a story about him. And my youngest son was 15 and a little rebellious and didn't really want to be doing chicken grease. It just wasn't cool enough for him. He was a skateboarder, but he could play bass pretty good. And So Dale, one day we were trying to get him to play some bass. We were having a rehearsal, and he said, I don't want to play. And he says, you're going to play in Chicken Grease. And he says, my son says, no, I'm not. And he says, yeah, you are. You know why? And he says, why? And he says, because money talks and yeah, right. BS walks, he said. And he flipped out $100 bill and waved it at him. And my son, Aaron, ran over and picked that bass up, took that $100.
Well, he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong, And I thought, my son is on his way to being a professional musician because he will do anything for money. Like me dancing the polka in Branson with Barbara Mandrell.
There you go. It's amazing. I've dressed up like an elf twice. So I've done. Rhonda Vincent made me do it, so I don't know how. It's just.
So it must be
you got it. You have got it, brother. That's the same relation.
There's a pattern here that pretty blondes make y'all do dumb stuff.
You will, yeah. Yeah.
No kidding. I think not just us. I don't think that's just.
Yeah.
No, that's any man.
It happens to me all the time. I know. I've seen me do it.
You were there. You were there every time, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I did that, and then and I settled into my production after that, and I really didn't do anything but freelance since then. I did. That's not true. I played some dates with Lori Morgan, and I was some one-offs, just filling in. I did Montgomery Gentry, and what I did with them, and what I did with Leanne was I'd fly around to these. Do these radio shows, the morning shows when they're just getting going, which is primo work because they fly you everywhere. And, I played guitar for both of those acts, and just doing those morning shows, and that was a lot of fun, and just getting to know those guys and be around them when they took off. And so just doing all that work, whatever anybody called me to do, and all the time trying to compete with these Nashville session players, which is just tough, man. It's tough competing with Stuart Duncan. My goodness, when he came along, it was like, you had those years of Rob Hay Jacobs where they really didn't care what us grassers were doing anyway. And so it didn't bother you so bad, but man, when Stuart got in there, man, he just changed it all. He just played so beautifully.
Yeah.
And, so that's kind of why I was always in and out. I'm going to do this session thing for a while. And then I go, but I really like eating and living in a house. So I guess I'll go back on the bus.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So true, man.
So how did,
and that's kind of how it went,
How did the whole Southern Legacy thing start with you? Who got the call from
the way that I recalled it, and I don't know how it looked from your side, Josh. I'm just telling from my side. I had, I sort off everybody's radar. I'm just over here working. Like I said, I'm doing some gospel albums, doing a country album, I did some young girls, Taylor Swift type stuff, producing and picking up dates and teaching and doing whatever I could. And I don't know, it was a couple of years ago, Ricky Watson called me to come. Oh yeah. Along the way, I forgot about that. I did 2000 and I think 8 and 9, 2 seasons with Crow. I went out and played Bluegrass Festival with Crow, which was, and we worked one time with you, Josh, and your band. I remember that.
Sure did. In Katie's, Kentucky.
You had a killer band, man. I just love your little fiddler player, Clayton.
Yep.
Yeah, this great band you had, and so I did that, and that was a real kick, just traveling with Crow was so funny, because he'd gripe all the time, Crow be sitting there just watching the road, riding in the passenger seat, Dwight always driving, and watching that XM radio, just watching it, not listening to it. As soon as Flat and Scruggs come on there, Crow go, you got to hold it out. Yeah. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
everybody had to be completely quiet. He'd turn it on, listen to Flat and Scruggs all the way through. They'd get done. He'd say, "Now, what's wrong with that, boys?" "I'll tell you what, nothing. But I love Crow. I love doing that, and of course I introduced Dale Pyatt to him, and it was over. They were best friends the ride, from then on.
Yeah, Dale drove Crow down to the studio many times when we were working on that record. So,
yeah, he was a friend to Crow. He really took care of Crow, And
I think I was Don Rixby really on that podcast I was listening to. He was talking about riding in the car with Crow, and they were all bragging about how good they sounded that night. And Crow was sitting there in the passenger seat and finally just spoke up and said, "Boys, y'all might as well just shut the hell up because them people come to hear his damn banjo."
That's right. You got that right. That's Crow's favorite saying. You got that right.
Yeah, oh yeah. I distinctly can see him in my mind going, "Hey, you got that right." He just looks at you. It's like a hey and a pause.
Dramatic pause.
Yes.
For effect.
So, anyway, back to the Southern Legacy thing. Ricky has a J.D. Crowe festival in September, I think, and he called me to come play it, and so I ended up playing all weekend with Don. So I don't know how much that visibility and being with Don, I think that at least got me on his radar because, you guys had Aubrey, and I think Jimmy Van Cleve had played some shows, and even what's the other boy that plays with Rhonda?
Adam Haynes.
Adam.
Yeah, he
Adam
did a
Haynes.
show with us.
And Adam, yes, and Adam did some shows, and but you didn't have that spot cemented where it was the same guy all the time. I think Aubrey was going to do it, but he just has a hard time with his so much stuff being thrown at him, committing to anything, And so Don called me one night and just, and said, "We're looking for somebody that would be really into doing this thing that we're doing." And I said, "Well, Josh and I have been friends forever. And Josh is, I'm not going to embarrass him to tell everybody what I thought about his guitar playing because I've told it to him. He's got one of the best right hands. And fiddle players are looking for a right hand, man. You can only do your stuff swinging and shucking and jiving with that timing if the guitar player is rocking." And with him and Mike England, I was just like, man, I mean, that was the kind of rhythm section that I had when I played with the Lost and Found, Them guys that could hold the line, man. Boom, kick, boom, kick, boom, kick, boom, kick till the Lord comes back. Just perfect. And when you know where that's at, and it's always the same, it just changes the way that your confidence level just goes up. You can just go for what you want to do. And so I was immediately, at that time, I had the Time Machine running pretty good. We played several festivals each year, and I had, 5 or 6 singles that had broke the top 10 and a couple of number ones. And so I was just happy, I wasn't looking for this thing. But when Don said that night, I committed that night. I was like, yeah, man, I'm in. And we hadn't looked back. I've just been so blessed. The camaraderie, the same vision for music. These guys can do anything they want to do. So I'm still having to try real hard, to work hard, to think hard, to concentrate and to play. And it's kind of, at this point in my life, because you get to where you kind of can coast, you're just playing out of the box that you've created, and you're not really thinking anymore. A lot of times you're just playing at a good enough level, but you're not inspired.
Right.
Per se. And man, with these guys, it's challenge every night. It's so, the energy level is so up, and the love and respect for each other has been declared and proven, and in the studio and on the stage. And so I'm completely satisfied, which it only took me 43 years to get satisfied, but
well,
I feel very blessed to be playing music with you, friend. I'll tell you that.
It was a very short time that we were all together down at Ron's house when we knew that it was the right fit. I mean, and he's right about the camaraderie, man, the love for each other. I've never been in a band where I truly love these guys, and they're not just saying that from stage. Like, they have shown me, in the time that we've been together, they've shown up at times, for me when I was facing stuff. And, that's probably the biggest thing for me is I've never been in a group like that, it's not just about the music. It's about life, it's about, here's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it together. And, nobody stands alone.
Well, the nice thing is that the music is, and I don't want to sound boastful. I don't mean it that way, but just speaking out of the experience of having done this at pretty high level for a long, long time, and Josh as well, that the music is foregone. That's a done deal. But the personalities in a band, there's lots of bands like that. That's why you see so many big super bands. They'll do a record or a project, but they really can't hang the long term. It's too much ego. And I don't mean that ugly. That just goes along with all that greatness. But with these guys, the music is so satisfactory and everybody feels so satisfied. And we're all older and we're for each other. We want to see it go, and we're for, so there's lots of forgiveness. I mean, I am a guy that I have a size 12 shoe and it fits perfectly in my mouth. And and these guys often are just, so kind, and they don't hold that against me when I say things or do things I shouldn't. And that all feels very comfortable. And it took a few fires for us to go through to say, hey, wow, this is wild. We a little testing is good for everybody. And that's what Josh is speaking to. When you can look around and you're in a trench and, you've fallen in a ditch, but you got 5 hands around pulling you up and saying, hey, man, it ain't nothing. Let's go play. And we do. And I think working in the studio has been real revealing, man. The attitudes in the studio have been so great. It's like the little squirrels, from Looney Tunes. No, what do you want to do? How would you like to do it, sir? No, after you. Oh, I love that. Would you like to do it again? What about this song? I don't know. Everybody's so nice.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's great.
Yeah, it's been a real blessing in my life.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I don't know if you told everybody, but Josh has got with Southern Legacy's got a single coming out here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this will be the first time that we get to actually say, hey, it really is happening. Like, we are going to have a single released. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's we're fixing to do a bunch of Facebooking on that. And, but that's kind of how it went. Don called and I've said I was in. We all went down to Ron's and we played a little bit. And did we go in the studio that week? No, we played a little date down at Leaper's Fork and took some pictures.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of been a little slow at it, but, we've been working right along and everybody's busy, but it's definitely a long-term situation.
Absolutely. And we all feel that way, and we're all supportive of each other. Don has a lot of stuff going on with other folks, and of course Ron's out with Allison, as he should be. We all push for that, of course he needs to be out there doing that,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we don't even have to talk about what that would produce for a man's family, but he is really in the right spot, and she needs him, and her thing will not be as permanent as ours, and we've already been assured of that. And we have to deal with a little bit this year and next year, but I think after that it's going to be full on for us. But we had that talk with Ron, and he just declared for this band and said, guys, I want to be here. I just want you to know I want to be here. And he told us that in Prague. And, I was like, okay, it's his job. He just, we'll find somebody that can stand in his place. And there's lots of great musicians, but we just love what he's brought. And if you could see him work in the studio, he's magical, as producer.
He sure is.
Yeah. He'll say, Steve, lay out. And I'll say, okay, and I'll do it. And then I'll go, wow, that sounds fantastic, where I'm not playing.
Less is more, Steve.
Yeah. So I lay out and overplay.
Man.
That's so awesome.
That's funny. Well, I think Josh is just really in the band for the AL8. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for the AL8 sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
AL8.
Yeah, he shows up at my house every week to do this show, and with a fistful of AL8s, and so that's how he makes it through.
That is.
That stuff will jack you up, man.
Oh man!
Compared to other stuff I've done, compared to other stuff I've done in the past, Steve, I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be all right. Me as well. I hold up my hand with it, brother.
Oh man!
And,
that's so.
I have a couple of students about 8 or 10 years old, and I had them over here last week teaching them. I gave them each an AL8. When they left, they were flying around my yard. Both of them said, my stomach hurts. I said, well, don't tell your mama.
That's so funny.
That LA to cure you, whatever's ailing you.
My dad would always say it makes your hair curly, your teeth pearly, and childbirth a pleasure.
L8 does?
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
That's just what he'd say. It's usually about the stuff that Uncle George got, the white lightning. But that's usually what he said. But he said it about L8 a couple of times, so it was pretty funny.
Oh, that's great. Well, we can't wait to hear new music from you guys, man. I'm ready for this single, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. We're all beyond ready to have this something out.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, we've got a couple of cuts, finish it up, and we're going to get that done. And maybe by September or so we'll have a full release. But we got a single coming out, going to get everybody's appetite whetted for the records, Yep. And this song that Josh sang, Josh, I don't want to get too sappy or personal, but and you tell me if I'm crossing the line. But Josh, he's been through a little heartbreak here. He knows a little bit about it, and man, I don't know how he did it. Just reading it off of paper, I didn't know how familiar he was with the song. But when we cut it, Ron played guitar and Mike played bass and Josh sang it. This was how we tracked it, and Josh killed it, man. I mean, he just killed it so much that the poor guy probably could have even killed it worse, but we didn't give him no chance. He had one little word that he kind of tripped over, and we let him sing that one word, but we've kept the scratch vocal all the way to the single. I mean, he just sang it so good. And it's a song about the guy that's looking back with some regret, leaving his sweetheart in the country. Mm-hmm. And he just killed it. It's not a new story, but when you hear Josh sing it, you'll know that he made it brand new. And I was so proud of him. We all were. I mean, I went around like a guy does with kids' pictures, look at this, listen to this. I was just for a while.
Man.
So proud of you. And I can't wait for people to hear it, because I've got all your records, and you're the best singer, but you reached down a little further in the gut, slowed down, and hurt a little bit for everybody on this. And
you must have drank a few extra L8s for that one.
He might have been on the L8.
I could have.
Maybe you had the breakfast burrito that morning. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, it's called the Hills of Carter County, right?
Yes.
Or Carter County.
Yeah, the Hills of Carter County.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's good.
Yeah.
A good Kentucky place.
That's right. Good stuff. Well, speaking of singles, we're going to let you go, but you've had a recent single last year that's done really well.
I think it was it 6 or 7 months ago? It went to number 1 on the Bluegrass Today charts or something like that. But
Absolutely.
It's a little bit snazzy.
Snazzy.
It's a little,
Snazzified.
it's a little pushing the boundaries. It's a little commercial country thing we did up bluegrass style, and it's a lot of fun. The band on it is. Let me just mention the guys' names:
Yeah.
Evan Williams. Oh, that's a fourth clip. Evan Windsor on bass, and I had Jason Owen with guitar and singing tenor, and Chris Wade playing the 5-string banjo, and Josh Matheny on dobro. And they've been playing dates with me, and we made this record, all the guys in the band, but they killed it pretty good. So,
well, that's awesome. Well, when we let you go, where'd this song come from?
I wrote it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I wrote this. I was writing, another thing that I got to do a lot was write with some pretty big writers around town, though I didn't have a bunch of hits. I did have that song with the Mac, the Life Goes On was a big song at IBMA one year, got an award for that. But I wrote with Hank Cochran and Jerry Lassiter and Kerry Kirk Phillips and some pretty good writers back in the 90s. And this song had been laying around since then. I wrote it with Jody Harris. We were on the road together with John Michael when I wrote it, and we wrote it from Martina McBride, but anybody could sing it, and it's just an anthem. It's called Get Love, and it's a good little song. But.
Yeah, well, we're gonna play it now, man. Thanks for taking some time to talk with us, man.
Dude, this has been so awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
I'm sorry. Hey, I can't not let you go without hearing the Bill Monroe story, though.
Oh,
I got it. We about forgot. So tell us that as we close, because this really cracks me up.
Okay. So, when I was down here, I was working with the Whites, and we played every week at the Bell Cove with a little band here called Rarely Heard. Now, there's another band called that now, but this was the original Rarely Heard, and Larry Cordell was in that band, and Derwin and Danny Henson, and so anyway, we play with Monroe every week, and I played with him at the Opry, and he had invited me on stage, and I'd been out to his farm, and he'd showed me some songs, and he tried to hire me a bunch of times, and they called me one day and say, Steve, you got do you have a blue suit? And I said, I do. Do you have a hat, a white hat? And I said, yes, sir, I do. This is Blake Williams calling. And he said, well, Tom Ewing can't go play this date with us. Would you like to do it and play guitar? And I said, yes, I would love that. So, I thought me and Monroe was pretty good. I'd known him 6 or 7 years at this time. And so we went out there, and he gets ready to introduce me. And he says, to my astonishment, doesn't know me. He turns around, doesn't know my name. He turns around to Tater Tate, his bass player. Tater, what's the boy's name playing the guitar? He says, Bill, that's Steve Thomas. Turns right around on the microphone and says, we got a boy here today. He's playing the guitar for you and singing some songs, and he's doing a fine job. Y'all make him welcome. Tom Stevens. Well, so me and Bill weren't quite as close as I had imagined.
That's so good.
Gosh.
But it was still a great thing. One of those things, just so fortunate to get to do.
That's so awesome. That's one of my favorite stories that I've ever heard.
Me too, man.
The one he had, Chris Thiele was probably, he had a great story where when he met Bill, was at like the Gibson booth at IBMA. They had kind of staged this whole thing to happen. And Bill had started writing this instrumental, and it had like 4 parts to it or whatever, and anyway, so he plays it one time all the way through and gives it to Chris and says, no, you play it. So Chris gets through the first part and he gets through the second part. And then on the third part, he's kind of like, okay, how did this part go again? And Bill's response was, just exactly like I showed you. Wasn't going to show him again.
Come on. I've got another Bill Monroe story that really tells on me.
Yeah.
I was playing with him one of these nights, and I took off playing playing some. He was doing the Mule Skinner blues, and I played it like Baker. And then I got in my second break, and I started playing getting out there a little bit like Vassar, and getting away from the melody. Bill did not like that at all. He came back with his mandolin. He played the melody on the mandolin, and then went doom 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 boom, and ended it, and just stared at me.
Oh my gosh!
Just stared at me. It's like that ain't the way it goes,
There's no ad-libbing on my music.
You know what he said about Vassar? He's ruined a lot of good fiddlers.
Oh man!
Anyway, guys, I'll let you guys go. Tim and
Steve.
Josh, thank you so much for having me. I hope you listeners had a good time tonight hearing a few of these old stories.
Man, thank you so much for doing it, for taking the time, and give my love to Janet.
Will do, brother. Can't wait to see you. Gonna see you here in a week or so. We'll play some music.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Right, see
Thank
you,
you.
buddy. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Oh, it's so great, man. It's so great. I still have tears in my eyes from that story. Oh, man.
Tom Stevens.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we're going to end the show here with Mr. Tom Stevens, Steve Thomas and the Time Machine, and his latest single called Get Love. You've been listening to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. We love y'all. Remember, if you got time to breathe,
You got time for music.
here we go.
It's a material age we're living in, where the one who dies with the most toys wins. Well, you can take that stuff, stack it up to the sky. It won't mean a thing on the day that you die. Get love coming down from heaven above. Get love, that's what life's made of. Everything else gonna come to an end, but if you've got love, you win. Work a little harder, no time for rest. Gotta have the biggest, gotta have the best. We're so busy getting, we're forgetting to see what we need most of all. We can all get for free. Get love coming down from heaven above. Get love, that's what life's made of. Everything else gonna come to an end, but if you've got love, you win. Same human race. See if you really want to make this world a better place. Get love coming down from heaven above. Get love, that's what life's made of. Everything else gonna come to an end, but if you've got love, you win.
Well, folks, that's a wrap for this episode of the Hometown Bluegrass Show with Tim and Josh. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Facebook to stay connected to your bluegrass community. Got a question for us? A story to share? Or an artist we should feature? Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. You can find all the details at timbats.com. Thanks for listening to the Hometown Bluegrass Show, where the heart of bluegrass music lives. This has been a Bats Music and Media production.